ladies, welcome to your calm warrior flow. So this one will be a bit more invigorating. We're going to be focusing more on standing postures, but I invite you to come back to your breath and to really use your breath throughout these movements that we're going to be grounding with our feet into the earth and really trying to pull that energy up into our core, to use the breath to take deep breaths and to really calm you as you put your roots into the earth. So let's get into it. We're going to start in tabletop. So come into hands underneath the shoulders, knees underneath the hips, and just starting here with the breath. So inhale, reaching the heart forward, gaze forward. As you exhale, tucking the tailbone under, bringing the spine like a cat as the chin comes in towards your chest. Inhale, reverse the movement, starting with the tailbone. And exhale, tailbone tucks under, let it right up your spine like a wave. Head last, and continue to flow like this for about 3 more breath cycles. And exhale. I invite you to, as you start to tune into your breath, to come with an intention for your practice today for the next 20 minutes or so. One more time. And if you would like some guidance on an intention, you can use the mantra for today, and that is, may my breath ground me and calm me. So coming back, we're going to shoot the hips back, tuck the toes under, slide the hands slightly forward, and then press to the toes to lift up into downward facing dog. So as you pedal out the feet here, again, come back to your breath. May my breath ground me and calm me. At any time, you can use the breath with the exhale with the mouth open to release any tension. So just taking this first downward facing dog to just alternate, reaching one heel down and bending the opposite leg. Just start to open up through the backs of the legs a little bit. And then come to stillness here in down dog, lifting the hips up. As we take our next inhale, we're going to come into the tippy toes and ride the spine forward, coming into plank. Exhale, hips lift up and back. Downward facing dog, lowering the heels down. Again, inhale, heels lift, rolling forward into plank. Nice strong plank. Exhale, use the core to lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. A couple more times. Inhale, rolling forward, strong plank. Exhale, core engages to lift up and back. One more time. Inhale, roll forward. Exhale, up and back. Nice. Bringing the right heel up. Exhale, drawing it in towards the chest, lowering the foot down, and then lowering the left knee down. Bringing the mat folded over if you need to for some extra support. Inhale, arms reach overhead. And exhale, lowering down. Moving back to downward facing dog. Just starting to open up the hips a little bit more, switching sides. Inhale, left foot high. Exhale, the knee forward, planting the foot. Right knee down. Inhale, arms reach overhead, big stretch. Exhale, lower the hands. Step back, downward facing dog. Take a breath here. You can stay in down dog, or if you want to inhale, shifting forward into plank. Option to take a vinyasa, lowering through chaturanga and up dog, and kneading back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right heel lifts. Exhale, bringing it through. This time the left knee will stay lifted in high plank. High lunge. So drawing the energy in, squeezing the inner thighs. Inhale, arms reach overhead. Exhale, hands down. Step back, downward facing dog. Left heel up, inhale. Exhale, bringing it through. Plant the foot. Gather your strength in the core and towards the midline, and inhale, arms reach overhead, high lunge. Exhale, lowering down. Stepping back, downward facing dog. And this time we're going to inhale. Reach the right leg up. Exhale, draw the knee in towards the chest, planting the foot, spiraling the left heel down. Inhale, spiral open into warrior two. So coming here, warrior two for just a breath. Exhale, reverse your warrior. This first time or two, we're gonna flow through with just a breath. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, bring the right elbow down to the knee. Exhale, arms overhead. Sweeping into extended side angle. Inhale, back to warrior two. And exhale, hands down. Plant the hands, step back into downward facing dog. Staying here if you'd like a little rest, or inhale forward into plank, taking an optional vinyasa, and exhale back to meet all of us in downward facing dog. Your next inhale takes the left heel high. Exhale, bringing the foot through with the hands. Spiral the right heel down. Inhale, open up, warrior two. Take one breath here. On your exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, back to warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Drawing the right arm around and overhead. Inhale, back, warrior two. And exhale, windmill, help the hands down. Stepping back, downward facing dog. Again, option to flow through plank or vinyasa, or simply staying in downward facing dog. We're gonna do that flow with just the breath, flowing one breath per movement. One more time, just to start to open up the joints, the muscles a bit more, and then we'll flow through with a longer hold. Inhale, right heel high. Exhale it through, left heel spirals down, windmill open. Exhale, reverse warrior. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. So really warming up the hips here. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, release. Bring the hands down, stepping back, downward facing dog. Let's go right away. Left side, inhale up. Exhale through. Spiral the right heel down. Open up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, extended side angle. Reach through the upper arm. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, spiral down. Taking a breath, downward facing dog. Going through a vinyasa if you'd like, or holding here. I'll throw the flow through a vinyasa if that's something you're not familiar with. So inhale, plank. Exhale, bend the elbows, coming down halfway, and then shift forward, up dog. Coming onto the tops of the feet, nice strong legs off the floor, and exhale back, downward facing dog. This time we're gonna hold longer. Inhale, right heel high. Exhale, bringing it through, planting the right foot, spiral the left heel down. Inhale, open up, warrior two. Staying here for 5 breaths or so. Settle in. So again, draw those roots through the feet, down into the earth. May my breath calm me and ground me. Flipping the top palm, reversing the warrior. So bringing the left hand to the thigh, or you can wrap it behind you. Gaze, I like to have my gaze down to the back foot. Just feels a nice stretch to the neck, or you can just roll through the neck. But find space through the ribs on the right side as you reach the right hand back. Be careful not to hike the shoulder up, draw the shoulder down the back, and commit to the lunge in the right leg. One more breath here. And then exhale, unwind. Just taking one breath here in warrior two again. And then exhale, lengthen as far forward like someone's pulling on your right hand to say, come on, lengthen out. Bring your elbow down and then spiral the left arm down and around into extended side angle. Gazing down at the foot, or if it feels okay in your neck, up at the top hand. Very powerful pose here. Working on bringing energy down, pressing into the earth, grounding and rooting into the earth, and a nice stretch through the whole side body, armpit, all the way up through the fingertips. Stay light on the right arm, on your leg. Taking one more breath here. And then coming into warrior two for one breath. Exhaling, releasing to the earth. Stepping back, downward facing dog. Switching sides, left heel high. Exhale, draw the leg through. Plant the foot and spiral the right foot down. Coming up. Here we hold. So find your breath opening up the muscles, letting them start to relax as you really find the support of the earth through the feet. Using those glutes to help open up through the hip, opening them up like a book. So either side of the room. Calm warriors, doing the hard work, doing the hard things, but also never losing our calm. Nothing is worth losing the present moment, losing our calm. So staying grounded and rooted, coming back to the breath when we get anxious. And releasing, coming into reverse warrior, bringing the right hand down the thigh, or if it feels good, behind the back. That does not feel good for my shoulder, so I'm not going to do that. And then finding a nice place for the gaze so that you're having the neck release. But remember, stay committed to the lunge in the left leg. Peel open the left ribs. And release, coming through warrior two for a breath. Length, then length, length, length on both sides of the body. Bringing the left elbow lightly onto the thigh, right arm reaches up and around. Open up through the chest. I feel bad having my back turned to you guys. Hopefully it helps to see both sides for you. Stay with the breath here. Engaging the core as you use that to stay lifted off this thigh, so the torso is extending from the strength of the core. Inhaling back into warrior two. So anytime we're moving our torso like this, using the core to move us. Exhaling, bringing the hands back down, stepping back, downward facing dog. Option here to take a vinyasa or stay in down dog, or anytime you need to, coming into child's pose. Bringing the knees down, lowering the forehead to the mat, and catching your breath here. Let's all meet in downward facing dog if you're ready. Moving on, we're going to do a couple more warriors. We can't forget about warrior one and warrior three. We just did warrior two. Now we're going to bring the right foot forward between the hands, spiral the left heel down at a 45-degree angle. We want our feet hips distance apart as we come up to standing. Hips are the orientation is towards the front of the mat. They might not get there all the way. You don't want to crank them when they're not ready, but working on that by pressing into the back foot to help guide that knee and the hip to turn forward. Bend through the right knee, and then inhale, reach the arms overhead. Staying here for a nice longer hold. So we're going to just transition from the flows into more of the longer holds here. Taking one more big breath. Dropping the shoulders away from the ears as you exhale especially. And then as you inhale, start to pivot forward, reaching the chest over the thigh, and start to pick up the left foot. If you need to keep it on the floor for support, that's fine. But if you're able to, lifting the foot off of the floor, coming as much as you can into the shape of a T. Hips are turned down towards the earth. Energy out through the back heel and out through the fingertips. Gaze is down. Warrior three. So take a couple breaths here. And then exhale, release the hand back, stepping back, plant the heel down, and inhale back, warrior one. This time we're gonna interlace the hands behind the back. Getting a nice fist with the hands, lift up through the heart, and then as we lift, we start to fold forward from the hips, bowing over the front leg, bringing the shoulders inside the thigh for humble warrior, letting the crown of the head go, length through the spine, one more breath. Inhale, release the clasp. And exhale, bowing forward, stepping the right foot back, downward facing dog. Inhale, left heel high. Switching sides, we're gonna bring the left foot forward, spiraling the right heel down. Feet are hips distance here, so creating some space for the hips to start to move forward. So use your feet grounding into the mat and gearing the hips forward. Inhale, arms reach overhead, bending through the left knee. Energy up through the fingertips, but that energy doesn't mean that the shoulders come with them. They stay grounded and rooted down the back. One more big breath here, and we're going to transition into warrior three. So start to bring the arms down, gather your focus, your gaze on the point on the floor, and start to shift the weight onto the left foot as you lift the right heel up, squaring the hips down. Arms can be in a T here as well, if that's a little bit more of a help for the balance, or they can reach out in front again. Stay with the breath, let it ground you, let it calm you through something that's hard. One more breath, and exhale, drop the back foot down, inhale, arms overhead, and then exhale the hands behind you. Take the clasp the opposite way. That may feel a little bit awkward for you. The opposite thumb on top. Reach the hands away, and then fold forward, bowing over the front knee. If you have further to go, bringing the shoulder inside the left knee. Crown of the head towards the floor, gaze back to the back foot. Letting the arms reach, but not forcing it. Nice stretch to the shoulders here. And inhale, arms release the clasp, reach overhead, and exhale, bowing forward, stepping back, downward facing dog. Ooh, but your legs are getting tired. That was minor. So we're gonna inhale the right leg high, got a little break coming up. We're gonna exhale, bring the right knee behind the right wrist and send the left leg long behind you. Setting up for a reclined pigeon. So now I get to cool down, slow down, inhale, lengthen and lift, and then exhale. If you have the space in your hips, you're gonna come onto the forearms here, staying here, or if you have further to go, you can start to walk the arms forward, bringing the chest and forehead down to the mat. Taking deep breaths here. Can be intense in the hips, so if that's too much, come back off of it. Come back up to the forearms.
Couple more deep breaths here. Gently start to press up through the hands. Taking that calming energy with you as you roll over to the right hip. Bring the left foot around. We're going to do a seated twist here on the floor. So try and find yourself squared on both hips. Then take your left foot over the right knee. If that doesn't feel good for you, if that starts to pull this hip up too much, you can extend this leg out in front of you to better ground through the hips. If you can, we're going to stay here. I'm going to inhale, lengthen up through the torso, and bring the right arm hooking around the left leg. Inhale the left arm up, and bring the hand behind the back. Use the fingers here to dive into the floor, find that grip, and lengthen up through the sternum, and then exhale, twist. Notice that I'm not cranking my head over the shoulder. The gaze stays over the chest, in front of the chest, in front of the body. No need to overextend the neck. So inhale, lengthen, and exhale from the belly, from the ribs, from the shoulders, start to twist. Again, inhale, lengthen from the low back, up through the spine. Exhale, twisting over to the left. Nice, and release, keeping that length as you release. Don't relax too much and just slump. Come over the knees. We're going to shift back into downward facing dog to transition to the other side. So left leg reaches high. Exhale, bend the knee, drawing it behind the left wrist. Right leg reaches long behind you. Again, find your center here. Engage through the glutes to lift up and lengthen. And then exhale, release the glutes. Walk the hands forward onto the forearms first. Kind of settle in, see how that feels for your body. Maybe you stay here. Maybe you have a block or two, you can support your head. Or if you feel open enough, you can start to walk the hands forward and lay the chest down. Taking nice deep breaths here for about 10 breaths. May the breath ground you and calm you. Start to walk the hands back in. Sitting onto the left hip, bringing the right foot around for the twist. So again, if you need to extend the left leg out, go ahead and do it. Now planting the right foot, use the hands on the knees to lengthen up, and then hug the elbow of the left arm around the right leg. Inhale the right arm up and behind you. Take a breath here to lengthen up through the spine, and then exhale, twist over to the right. Stay with that pattern of inhale, lengthen up, and exhale, deepen the twist. Keeping the length from all that length you created. Keep that for your posture. We're going to slowly lower down onto our backs. So we're using the hands behind the thighs if you need some support as you lower down. Oh, because I'm not here, I gotta take it out. So coming onto your back, bringing the heels in close to your glutes. We're just going to do a quick inversion here to release the spine. So pressing through the heels, lifting the tailbone up. Start to press through the heels as you lift the back off the mat. Tucking the shoulders underneath you to come a bit higher. Noticing if the knees are collapsing in or splaying out. It's better to bring the energy towards the midline, knees towards each other, and exhale, lower down. Again, let's come back up, take an inhale, lift. Lifting up. Again, it helps to tuck those shoulder blades under. Using the inner thighs and glutes and core. Getting a nice stretch and lengthening through the vertebrae. Exhale, lowering down vertebrae by vertebrae. Give the knees a hug into the chest. And much earned Shavasana. Extend one leg and then the other long. Letting the feet fall open on the mat. Palms facing up. Get comfortable, get the hair out of the way. And then open up the palms towards the ceiling, relaxing here. We're going to be staying just for a couple of minutes in Shavasana, but if you have longer, feel free to stay here, closing the eyes, staying for 5 to 10 minutes if you're able to. Starting to let go of control on the breath, letting the body breathe on its own like it always does when we're not paying attention. Allowing yourself to completely rest. Feeling supported by the earth. Trusting that this time now that you rest has benefits, that you are absorbing all of the benefits of the practice you just did. Calming the mind, noticing the thoughts but not attaching to them, not feeling any strong pull with them, letting them float by as you relax. Again, if you're able to stay here longer, I encourage you to do so. But if not, turn with me, rolling over onto your left side. In fetal position for a couple breaths. And then using the hands to press yourself up. Gently coming up. Coming into a comfortable seat. Placing the hands in prayer position at your heart. Closing the eyes, scanning the body, paying attention to the sensations in your body, to the quality of your breath, to the rhythm of your thoughts or your mind. Maybe noticing that it's a little bit slower, a little bit calmer. And remembering this practice, taking it with you now off the mat and into your life. May our breath calm and ground us, not just now, but throughout the rest of our day. Have a good day, you guys. Thank you so much for being here.